Okay, are we ready?
Yes,
You're not going to clap your hands?
Nope, we're still
I don't know how to do this without clap. Okay, here we go. This is Emery Mulling, and welcome to our podcast today, where we are always assisting millennials be better in their career, happier, and also we will address any workplace issue that you may be having, such as sexual harassment, not getting along with your boss, whatever. And today we have another friend of mine, a millennial, and he is going to be interviewing me. So welcome to our show. Give us your name and give us a little bit about your background.
I'm happy to be here as well. My name is Kezziah Hall. I'm a nursing student at Albany State University, and I'm in my final year, and then I'm going to go from there and get my master's degree and be a nurse practitioner and hopefully practice here in Atlanta.
Now, I've told you this, but I want to announce it publicly. I've told you if I'm in the hospital and you come into my room as my nurse, I'm going to be asked to be discharged. I know you too well.
I'll give him the best care possible.
That's good. You know what? I actually believe that. I was obviously joking around. So you're interviewing me, so try to stump me, and I'm sure you won't be able to. But ask me the first question, whatever you want to talk about.
All right, first question. Someone from an impoverished area, how do they go about adapting or meshing with the more prestige and, let's say, cultural, more prestige people?
You're asking a question that I actually had to deal with. I did not come from an impoverished background, my family, but I did not grow up in Atlanta. I came from a more rural background, graduated from college, then went through the Army, and then I started to work here in Atlanta. And I had to change some of my vocabulary. I had to learn how to dress differently than I thought I would. What is important is to learn from the people who are being successful, emulate them, and be very observant of how people are acting, dressing, talking, the words they use. Now, you can't do this all up front, but you need to get hold of 2 or 3 of your friends at your level, ask them how they assimilated into a more sophisticated environment than you may have come from, and then also to ask eventually. They have to get to know you. Maybe you will have been at this employment for 9, 12, 18 months. You need to ask someone to be your mentor. And if you're new, I would recommend that you do it within the company.
Okay.
You can also have a mentor in the business world, same profession, industry, whatever, outside the company. But if you're really trying, when you're new, trying to assimilate, that is a great thing to do. And you need to understand, nobody usually is going to volunteer to be a mentor for you. You have to ask someone to be a mentor and make sure it's someone who has a lot of experience and can be able to help you. So to assimilate, have your antenna up. If you want to be successful, you need to play the game and emulate them. I have a saying, don't play baseball by football rules. You are not going to win. It just depends on if you want to play the game. And I know some millennials, and I certainly support millennials, but some of them haven't learned that you do need to play the game or get out and go play another game. Some millennials think that's giving in or cutting themselves short. You got to accept me the way I am. That's not necessarily true.
Okay, so with that, you say assimilate. So when you say assimilate, how do you go about making sure that you don't, I say lose yourself or lose your own identity by trying to play the game? I mean, it's all a game. And how do you go about playing the game but staying true to yourself at the end of the day?
A lot of millennials have asked me this, and even some 40, 45-year-olds when they'll go to maybe a Fortune 500 company. I would never recommend that you become another person, you give up your morals, your values, your beliefs. not to become a different person internally. What I'm talking about is learning how to fit in to the culture if you want to fit in. If you don't want to fit into that particular culture, maybe it could be too corporate or too casual. But if you want to get ahead and want to fit in, then learn how to be similar, not to give yourself away, but to be similar to how that company is conducting business.
Okay, so when you spoke about learning how to play the game, playing the game, what was like when did you realize like this is how you got to play it, or how did you go about learning how to play it?
I got out of the Army and I went to work for a Fortune 500 company.
Okay.
It was in the automotive industry, so it was very professional, but it wasn't a bank or a jewelry store. It was not quite as polished. But I had to learn real quickly how I needed to dress for corporate America.
Okay.
I had been in the Army wearing uniforms for 2.5 years. That is the first thing I did, is to buy a navy blue blazer, a gray blazer, the basics, because getting started, I didn't have a lot of money. So dress was important, and then there was certain customary ways that you would go to people's offices. You would talk to these very senior, more conservative, more mature men and women than me, and I caught on real quickly because I wanted to get ahead. I didn't feel like that was selling myself. I felt like it was playing the game, and I like the term that you're using. I mean, did I answer the question, or do you have another?
Yes, I feel like that was pretty good. I understand what you're saying. You're saying you have to assimilate, don't lose yourself, play the game, know that you're playing the game, and off of that, you dance and just figure it out as you go.
That was better stated than me. Would you like to host this podcast?
No.
Mr. Hall, I'm glad you're here. Now, do you feel like what I am requesting of you to play the game, do you in any way feel that I'm asking you to become another person?
Absolutely not. But I can see how, not for me, because I understood it, I guess, at a younger age, that this is how you make it. But for the people that's around me and the people that I'm around, I see that they don't think that way. They feel like, no, I'm a sellout. I'm selling myself short. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, no, I got to stay true to me. I got to stay true. And it's like, how do you go about finding people that understand the game and understand that this is how you have to play? Because that's where I'm at now. I'm trying to change my circle and change the people who are around me, the people who don't think that way. And how do you go about that?
I have a saying. If you wallow in the mud, you're going to become a pig also. You're going to get just as unclean, dirty, whatever. Surround yourself with good and honest and ambitious people, because that is where you want to go. So my advice is to understand how high you want to go. You have a career plan. I have told you before that you would be an excellent charge nurse, supervising 40 nurses or whatever. You could be a nurse practitioner, but also be a charge nurse, because you have leadership skills. You have the appearance. You as a nurse, you'll wear uniforms, but you know how to dress. You have a good vocabulary. You know how to present yourself. I have a feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't always been this way. You absorbed real quickly.
It's almost like, when it comes to that, it's like either you learn or you get left.
Ooh, you're going to make a better host than me, I'm telling you.
That's what I learned with, I guess, my friend group. It's like, I'm not fresh out of high school, but out of high school.
Aren't you 20 years old?
I just turned 21.
You just turned 21?
Correct.
You're an old man.
It feel like it too. Back hurt, everything. But I mean, I guess I've learned, like, from the people that I grew up with, that it's like, I almost don't even fit in with my own people anymore. Well, apparently they weren't my people. I don't even fit in with that group anymore. And I'm kind of like, and I guess same thing. I'm in a transition stage, but I'm just trying to find my way into the next avenue, the next place.
I want to compliment that, because number one, you have goals, you know where you want to go. I suffered from the same thing. I have a theory about the U.S.
Okay.
There's some people who don't want to get ahead, and they don't want their friends to get ahead either because it makes them uncomfortable. They don't want them to act too formal or act like they're better. They will accuse them of being too uppity or thinking they're not, they're too good to associate with me anymore. Well, you have a decision to make.
Okay.
You don't feel that you're better than anyone. You don't look down on anyone, but pursue your goals, play the game that you want to play,
Okay.
and you will be successful. You have all the potential in the world. And when you get a nursing degree, you know better than I, you can find a job within around 5 seconds.
Absolutely. And then from there, so when I get the job, get the degree, and then when I come in, I won't come in as a charge nurse, as you said. That's where you can see me at. So I come in and then just learn how to speak, I guess,
Lingo.
to the lingo and speak to the higher ups. And from there, when do you know it's the right time to ask someone to be your mentor, someone to give you the guidance? Like, when do you know?
You don't do it after you met them 2 or 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
You need to get in front of them, get them to know you, you get to know them, and you can compliment. Not overly compliment, but you can say, I've really observed how you have become successful. You are doing the right things, you're getting to know the right people, and I think that is one reason that you have gone up in your career. And ask them if they will take the time to mentor you. Now, some people don't like you to ask them to be a mentor.
Yes, that's what I'm learning.
Because it is the presumption it's going to take a lot of time. We'll have to meet every week. What I would do, rather than asking to be a mentor, I would ask the person if they would give you some advice from time to time. You'd like to set up an appointment with them every 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, once a month, to learn from them. That is a lot more palatable than saying, I want you to be my mentor.
Okay, so basically your delivery of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. As you grow and as you move and as I transferred schools.
Yes.
I came into Albany State and I was everything kind of happened, everything with the virus, and they kicked us out of the school.
Right.
And like I was just getting my bearings and trying really understanding the school and understanding where to go to find the right people. And like what are is there any like clubs or anything that you could think of that are like to get me jump started to getting around people even outside of my field? Because I do want to do other things besides what's in my field. How do I go about finding those people?
There is a professional society for most every occupation in the U.S. You name the occupation, they got a professional society. So you Google the profession that you want to find that professional society, and everyone should join that at a young age. Being a former SVP of HR in Atlanta, and Atlanta has always had one of, or the largest SHRM chapter in America. We have close to 3,000 members now. The smart kids, I've always observed this, who are majoring in HR, want to have an HR track record or profession, from Emory, Georgia State, whatever. They will come to the meetings. They're student chapters at those colleges.
Okay.
And they will come to our meetings and get to know, and they will volunteer. And when they're on some committees as student members or attending as students, guess what they're doing? They are networking and getting to expose themselves and looking good and professional as sophomore, junior, senior. Guess who gets jobs when they graduate
Those people.
from college, because they're networking for 2 or 3 years. That is one way to do it. And then there are other organizations, leadership organizations, special interest groups. You can't belong to 4 or 5 of those and go to college and maybe have a part-time job. I would recommend that you find two groups, one in your profession and then another one, a special interest, and let those people get to know you and your networking in advance. Don't start this one semester before you get out of college.
Okay.
And then religious organizations, arts organizations, civic organizations. I know there's the Kiwanis Club, the Rotary Club. I was in the Kiwanis Club for 25 or 30 years. And I was lieutenant governor. I was club president of the second largest Kiwanis Club in Atlanta. I did that for my good and to help my business, being a business owner.
Okay.
In the Kiwanis Club in high school, there's the Key Club, then there's a college level organization. The smart students do the same thing in the Kiwanis Club as the smart students did in the SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management organization. That's how you do it. It's called networking.
Okay, great. So with your business, right? And how long have you been in business?
I've been in business 36 years, which is older than you.
It is. So with your business, how did you maintain the discipline to go in every single day? Because it was many sleepless nights, I'm sure.
Oh, you have no idea.
How did you maintain the discipline, the fortitude, just to push through and just to keep going?
Thank you for asking that, Mr. Hall.
Yeah.
I have a definition of an entrepreneur. Number one, in my opinion, you have to be stupid and a fool to be an entrepreneur, and I qualify.
Okay.
You're not supposed to agree with that. But you hit a wall, you go around it. You hit a wall, you go around it. A good entrepreneur does not know the word no. You just keep on going because you're hanging out there by yourself. Now, what I did and what I recommend is I found a very successful entrepreneur, and he had a smaller business. I mean, it wasn't Steve Jobs who built an empire. And I made sure that I would go to lunch with him once a month, maybe once every 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And I'd have my little questions. And I would ask him because I wanted to learn from his experience. And smart people do that. Don't try to make all the mistakes like I did in your business. Learn from experienced people and don't be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to expose your ignorance, what you don't know, and the mistakes that you've made, and be receptive to advice.
Okay. Because I just got my real estate license, and
Yes.
I was trying to go into that field a little bit as well. And I've met with a few realtors. And
This is residential real estate.
Yes, sir. And we've gone out, and I've spoken to a few just to try to see if I can, I guess, kick the tires and see if somebody will let me in just to get an internship or just to learn from under somebody's wing. And no one's done it so far, and that's kind of those other questions came from. But I'm learning how you must be patient. Was that one of the big things that you had to learn?
I am still not a patient person, but when I was your age, I was very impatient. Mm-hmm. The description of a job search or trying to get an internship or a mentor is no, 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 yes.
Okay.
So do not let being told no slow you down or keep you from asking someone else. Someone will want to take you under their wing. You're fortunate when they do want to do that, and just keep asking until you find someone.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
Because if you don't push, nobody is going to push as hard as you will.
So what made you say, you know what, I'm not going to give up on this career path? What made you say, because trials.
It's all of it. There's many reasons. There are people who start a business. Up to 90%, 85% of businesses fail, starting their own business, fail within the first 3 years. And fear can be a great motivator to a lot of people, or it can stymie them and ruin them.
Okay.
fear was a great motivator to me. When I started my business, my wife was a full-time homemaker for 18 years.
Okay.
I had 2 younger children. One of the children was going into private school the next year in pre-first, 2 cars, a mortgage, and I left a very good job in corporate America.
Okay.
I had done rather well. And so failure was not an option for me. Fear motivated me because I was the sole breadwinner. But one important thing to remember, your spouse or significant other, they have to be in the boat with you because the money is not going to come in like you think it is. You're going to have some dry spells, particularly when you are starting a business. And in my 36 years, I've had 3 dry spells. Nothing that I could help, but the market changed, whatever. So it was a very good learning experience to me. Don't be in love with love. You have to want it more than anything else in the world to persevere. Perseverance is very important. I know you, and I've given you a lot of advice. I'm taking credit for everything you're going to be in the future. I mean, it's already mine. You're not taking it away from me. But I know that you're going to be successful. You have no reason not to believe in yourself. I know you're smart, you're academically smart, you have common sense, you have emotional intelligence. What I'm looking forward to is seeing the successes that you're going to have in the nursing and the real estate field. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Well, thank you for being with us today. You've been a great interviewer. You did not stump me now. I'm disappointed in that. Thank you for joining our podcast today, where we're always trying to make your career as satisfying and enjoyable as it can be. Let us know if you have questions you want us to ask, if you want to be a guest on the show or a topic. We will see you next week. Thank you a lot.